ప్రకాశం గారి ఫ్యామిలీ గురించి తెలుసుకున్నాం కదా. ఇప్పుడిక అకాడమిక్ కెరియర్లో అంచెలంచెలుగా ఎలా ఎదిగారో తెలుసుకుందాం.
You told us how you got into linguistics. Now, could you tell us how you specialized in that particular area that you have as far as linguistics is concerned?
Linguistics.
Yes.
I just mentioned it. Dr. Roy is responsible for pushing me into this applied linguistics thing. We had a wonderful teacher, Bhul Jata. Anyhow, in Nagpur, this is an evening course. He taught us linguistics wonderfully. And Nagpur University had a wonderful library. All good books we read. And then I joined here, Colin P. Musika, thanks to him. Then Dr. Verma, some funny students we have felt very unhappy. He made me sit in the library between 10 and 5.
Okay.
The library at that time was only CIE, Ford Foundation. Masika was the Ford Foundation consultant. And I was getting a fellowship, Ford Foundation fellowship, as a research fellow. 10 to 5, he gave a 10-page list of books and articles to read. Halliday, Firth, Baap re Baap. Padna padega? Pad liya ji? Result is knowledge.
Exactly.
And then, it's a very peculiar thing. I was reading all the time, I was not writing well. So Dr. Verma thought I won't write. I said, sir, I got another opportunity to go to V.Madhusudanrao. Can I go for the interview? Yeah, go. Here your chances are not good to continue. I said, all right. So I went for the interview. I was selected again in V.Madhusudanrao. Earlier I was there. I came back. I said, sir, I got the selection in V.Madhusudanrao. I'm happy. No, you're not going. But you said, sir, here I have no choice. At that time I said it because you did not write anything. Now you have written 3 chapters, you will continue. Sir, I may not get a good job in Hyderabad. See a good teacher, how he builds his students. How much do you get as teacher? In those days, 68, I was getting 275. Sorry, V.Madhusudanrao, they give 275. Do you know what he said? That kind of job I will get any time in Patna, but I will continue here. So a brother of mine said, students don't select teachers. Teachers select students. He selected me. I wrote postgraduate research diploma thesis under him. Comparison of Telugu and English syntax. He said, revise that thesis, we'll publish it. And then he said, now you have to go to York. Sir, you have recommended so many students. I know what to write. He sent me there. Dr. S.K. Verma. I went there. Then I said, here I worked on syntax. Let me work there on phonology. I did that. I mean, God has been very kind. If you don't believe in God, stars have been excellent. Wherever I go, and also I should say, my wife was with me in England. All Telugu data I will check with her. And she will encourage me. She used to feed me with spoon. Because I was writing my thesis. That's why I tell people, if you understand your wife, if your wife understands you, that is heaven. Where is स्वर्ग की जरूरत नहीं है. अच्छी धर्मपत्नी काफी है.
ఎన్నో డిగ్రీలు సాధించిన ప్రకాశం గారు మన దేశంలోనే కాక దేశ విదేశాల్లో పేరెన్నికగన్న విద్యా సంస్థల్లో ప్రొఫెసర్గా పనిచేశారు.
So, which are the institutions you taught in through your career?
See, in terms, I will generalize the institutions where I taught and where I grew. First was the Dr.V.PRAKASAM College of Arts and Commerce. That is established in Nagpur on Diksha Bhumi, where Dr. Ambedkar became a Buddhist. So I grew as political and social consciousness person.
Excellent.
Till then, I was just a Homo sapiens. Then I became a social being in Nagpur.
Right. So, what was the next institute?
Huh?
Which was the next one that you taught after?
The next is Vivekananda College. I was there only for 4 months. Then CIE, I came. CIE became CFL. But before then, I went to England, came back. And people like my teacher, Dr. Varmaji, and director like Dr. Bansal, director like Dr. Ramesh Mohan, they have been so kind, so nice to me. They encouraged every time. Dr. Ghosh, I always remember one statement, it seems is a common statement. Language is learning of social behavior. And language actually means change of behavior. This is what he said in the class. He was a professor of school methods. H.L. Shastri, college methods. I learned a lot from all of them. And then I tell you, sometimes we learn from students, colleagues. Only thing is you should be open. You should never assume you know more than others. You should assume you want to know more. That's why you learn. CIE became CIFL, then it became FLU. I saw all this. In between, I went to England, came back. I went to Usmania for 5 years. I was a lecturer there. And then from there, I went to UPSC as Under Secretary. UPSC Under Secretary is interesting. It is an administrative post. But I learned a lot about administrative, what we call register, the language used by administrative officers. From there, I went to wonderful place, Punjabi University, Patiala, where I spent 11.5 years. In between, from Patiala, I went to America as a Fulbright Fellow, University of University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and University of Berkeley, University of California at Berkeley. Everywhere I used to get lots of ideas. The Smithsonian Museum, you call it, no problems at all. Then I came back to Patiala, became professor. Actually, sometimes I want to remember some people. Professor S.S. Joel was my chancellor. Manipur University sent me a letter. I never applied anything. Though you have not applied, we would like you to invite you as Professor of English. I said, how can it be? Someone there said, there is no candidate available. Can you believe it? I went with that letter to see my Vice Chancellor as a Joel. It's a very peculiar thing. Some Vice Chancellors think too much of themselves. Some of them he was a great man, FAO person, international character. The secretary went and said, sir, Dr. Prakasam has come. Acha, let him come in. I went in, he took me a separate room. Prakasam, what do you want? Sir, Manipur wants me to go there as a professor. Acha, you are not a professor? No, sir, I'm ready to head. Hurry, you never told me. How can I tell you, sir? Prakasam, why should you go to Manipur? You are now going to America as Fulbright Fellow. Come back, I will give the post to you. That is Vice Chancellors. That is the Vice Chancellors. When I think of them, God's grace, they recognize your talent. They see, actually, very sincere Vice Chancellor. When I applied for Fulbright Fellowship, said Prakasam, if you go away, who will teach your papers? So what you do is, you don't teach paper individually. Take a paper, make 2 teachers. 50-50. When you go, that person will continue. That is how a good Vice Chancellor operates.
I would like you to tell us something about your most satisfying experiences as a scholar and as a teacher. 1 or 2 experiences in each.
Chomsky, in 1957, came out with a wonderful book, Syntactic Structures, where he says, yes, rewrite, NP, VP. VP rewrite, verb NP. verb rewrite, V and NP, as ox and verb and NP, verb rewrite, ox and V, auxiliary plus V. In 1965, he wrote S rewrite, NP ox VP. That is, he raised the level of auxiliary to the highest level. 1966 or 67, when I wrote an edition, who will read that paper? 68, Robert Lees came from America, gave lectures. I went and met him in his room. I said, Professor Lees, Chomsky should go up. What do you mean? He should write S rewrite ox plus lex. What do you mean? All grammatical element, all lexical element. He looked at me for 5 minutes, up and down and up and down. I mean, I can never forget it. Said, Prakasam, I cannot deny your originality. This is already done by Fillmore. Fillmore came up with a theory called case grammar theory. He wrote about it in 66 and 68. And I went to Usmania Library, took the mimeographed edition of Case for Case. I was surprised. And Robert Lees was so happy, he went and told everyone. Prakasam knows so much about linguistics. Arey, bhai, aise pooch liya? Because I am a follower of Halliday. In my model, we raise auxiliary differently from lexical element. But this kind of, this happened with Masika also. Masika said, you are only 23. Correct age, you are coming to linguistics. You will have great future. That is how people encourage us and we grow. This is what I tell people. Don't discourage students. Encourage them. And when they do their PhD, see that they do something original. Have you read that book? Have you read that book? Na. तुसी की समझना चाहते हो? तुसी की कहना है? Mr. Gill in Patiala used to say, yeah, Prakasam, Halliday I can read, but तुसी क्या कहना है? He says a researcher should think on his own, come out. That's what I tell my students. Every chapter should have your stamp. Sir, what is that stamp, sir? Originality. Sir, my supervisor says, have you read this book? Have you read this book? No, that's wrong. You read them, but you should think on your own. That's why Indian researchers, unfortunately, are sometimes misled by their supervisors. I don't blame the students. Basic intelligence is wonderfully available everywhere, but you should encourage them. Alright, utho.
Yes. So you have anticipated one of my questions and answered them. I wanted to ask you what a good student was. And now you tell us, what do you think are the qualities of a good teacher? What are the qualities of a good teacher?
Anyway, I am very happy. I give credit to 3 people for my being successful teacher. My mother, excellent presenter of ideas. My father, a good astrologer, but highly critical. He will look at it as science. And my chacha, we say Chinnayana, some people say Babai. My uncle, actually Pankal, he did my Akshara Abhyasa, initiating into literacy. He was highly critical and about every subject. He will explain new ideas. Result is, whenever I teach something, I don't blindly teach something else. I teach what is immediately available and also go ahead. I give you the model. My uncle, that Chacha, say Gangago Palu, Kadevadainu Nemi, Gantedinu Chalu, Karmapalu, Tapu, Ulta. So one revenue inspector came running to the school. Pantula, what are you doing? He said, what is the problem? What is Karmapalu? He said, do you know one thing? If a woman who has been delivered of the baby has problems with her health, it is the Karampalu, the milk of the donkey, that helps her. It is put in the eyes. Cow milk is of no use. Acha, sir. That means you teach the given thing he also teach new things. I do this. For example, OF off. Every grammar book will say preposition. मान लिया जी. But my is equal to of mine. How powerful is of? Plus one Sinclair said, no. Of should be a separate preposition. It should not be along with this. It should be a separate part of speech, not a preposition. I wrote a paper on that. NGP of NGP is a structural study, where I give lots of examples how. So look at this. In grammar, none of them has come common. In the last 20 years or 30 years, people started writing, none of them have come. They say, "Bhai, what is this?" Which is correct. I said, listen, none of them, if them is the important thing, have. If none is the important thing, has. Acha, ye kya? That is the peculiarity of. వాళ్ళల్లో ఒక్కడూ రాలేదు. వాళ్ళల్లో ఒక్కరూ రాలేదు. It can be ఒక్కరు ఏంది? ఒక్క is singular, రు is plural. That means none of them have come means ఎవరు రాలేదబ్బా. None of them has come means ఎవడు రాలా or ఎవతా రాలే. That is the peculiar result. Is now many people have right, and when I wrote grammar books prescribed for intermediate and BA, I had to explain this.
Right. Yeah, that's very excellent.
It's not easy thing, but you should be open. You should be ready.
Right. That's an excellent teacher's quality, sir. What advice now do you have for teachers and students of this time and age?
When I was doing my LLB, some of the law teachers would use wrong English. I won't wag my tongue. I won't wag my tail. He is the lecturer in law. I am a teacher of English. I should keep mouth shut, listen. So number one, students should have appropriate humility to absorb what is happening. But more importantly, the teachers should try to reach every student, not just preach. No, I've done my job. What do you mean by you have done job? If there are 30 students there, only 10 understood you, by kya karu? They are not intelligent. Then what are you useful? How are you intelligent? You should see you reach everyone. We should be, and also, you may find me a bit funny, teachers deserve their jobs for the students. We get our tankha for the students. This I said in Usmania. The big teachers, we should teach the students how to behave. Necessary, send them out. I raised my hand. Junior most lecturer in linguistics department. Said, who is this? Dr. Prakasam. I came back from England, so I knew myself. I said, I want to be accused. Universities are for students. Teachers are for students. You should not treat them as prisoners. We are there for them. Bapre Bap, those teachers and others who are keeping mum said, yes, that's true. We should treat the students well. Why? And students are the ones who are giving us food.
So, as a language teacher, how do you see the relationship between language and life?
Language and language.
Language and life itself.
Life.
Language and
language and life. Certainly, I will try to be brief, no problem. Language makes human being a real thinking being. Language makes a Homo sapiens a real human being who also becomes social being, thinking being, cognitive being. Why? Because language is used for communication. Whether you make it oral communication or written communication or even Silent communication, language plays the game. Number one. Number two, Harry did a lot of research on his son. In the early stages, children use language in a peculiar way. They create a new type of data. Then you correct them, they say, okay, okay. I remember once my son, he used some uh, kulimulu. I said, no, Nana, kulimilu, tapu, kulumulu. ఎందుకంటే లు మేక్స్ ఇట్ ఊ ఓ పిల్లి పిల్లులు. సో దే చెక్ విత్ యూ అండ్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ అస్ ఫూలిష్లీ సే go go go. No, we should never discourage children. They should be asked to speak, and many of them repeat. When you say something new, they repeat.
I'm Gautam, son of Dr. Prakasam. My father is always been a teacher at heart, and in every conversation that we've had, there's always an analysis of that conversation, that situation, and then there's a learning from it. It could be or any other activity in a day-to-day life. There's always some kind of study of it, analysis, and then there's a learning. This has typically been our way of interaction, and this has had an impact on me and to some extent even on my sisters, where we also end up doing the same thing. So that is a great learning from my father in our lives. My father is actually an academician. He's always been very. He may not accept it, but is a hardworking student. Even at this age, always a learner who would do a second PhD after his retirement. That's my father, and that too a subject which is completely new. It is not a subject. He did a PhD in that too after doing a graduation. Despite this, and I've seen him working, despite his hard work in during his office time when he was working as a professor in the university, he always had time for his family. He spent a lot of time with his family, friends. He had a lot of friends. His networking, his friend circle is, in fact, tremendously. I mean, it's very good friend network, and he always met them regularly. They would come home. He would go to their houses, and also he maintained very good relationships with the relatives. So he kind of maintained a very good work-life balance all his life. So it is not all the time only work. It is also balancing it with other aspects of life. When we were children, he always insisted that we study even during holidays. Though we didn't like it, but that was his style. He always said, studies. But the interesting part is when the results came, and in case the results were not up to the mark, he was not too disturbed by it. He was more concerned about the process, that you do your hard work, you study, but if the results don't happen, he would encourage us and say, okay, better luck next time, do better next time, whatever you have not done, learn from here. So that is something unique in the sense most of the parents that you come across are actually more worried about the results, and if the results are not good, they are very disturbed, whereas my father was more encouraging that way. Even today, he is, as I said, he is an academician. Even today, he takes time to read about everything. I've seen not only about his own subject, which is linguistics, etc., but he's interested in many other subjects, like what's happening around the world, the politics, and religious texts. He has studied many religious texts. In fact, I'm very impressed that at a very young age he studied Bhagavad Gita and also rewrote it in his own words in poetry. So that's my father. Overall, a person who spent good amount of time with his family, while also being hardworking, very diligent. Even today, anything he commits to, he puts his heart and soul into it. That's a great learning for everyone.
So we should encourage children, number one. Number two, you have brought in life also. We are an interesting society. In the ancient Indian context, people who were learning higher level, acquiring early higher level of knowledge, were not happy only with Telugu. They took to Sanskrit also. Okay, ji? After some time, some people learned Tamil from Tamil Nadu, Telugu log. Tamil log learned Telugu. But interesting thing is, after the Mughals came and ruled parts of India, many Indians started learning Persian. Many of us don't know, in many North Indian kingdoms, official language was not Hindustani or Hindi or Urdu, it was Persian. In my own Punjab, why did you say my own? I spent 11.5 years, wonderful time in Patiala, so I take Andhra Pradesh and Telangana as my primary, my secondary, Maharashtra, tertiary, but very dangerously close is Punjab. In Punjab, also Patiala court, they had earlier Persian as the official language, later they shifted to Punjabi. This happened in England also. It was the Henry IV who shifted from French to English as official language. So we should not be unhappy about the need we have created for ourselves for English. Actually, I don't call English as a foreign language. I call it NFL, Native Foreign Language. Kyun? It has nothing to do with the religion and caste. It has nothing to do with the fact that we think English people are superior to us in a big way. No. English is very rightly said by Gandhiji, English is a great window for us to the rest of the world. That was the case with Sanskrit. Sanskrit, we took the help of Sanskrit to learn more. Telugu grammarians, Tamil grammarians learned Sanskrit to learn Panini Sastadhyayi. You just look at the way language studies developed in Sanskrit, beyond belief. And many Europeans and Americans take that Sanskrit studies and grow. So we have to be happy to have Hindi, Sanskrit, Persian, and now English, and grow properly without ignoring our mother tongues.
ప్రకాశం గారి మనవరాలు నిర్విత కూడా ఆయనతో మాట్లాడింది.
ఓకే తాతయ్య తాతయ్య నాకు అది జస్ట్ ఒక నార్మల్ వర్డ్ కాదు. మెయిన్లీ వెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ యూ. తాతయ్యలు ఉంటారు. నాకు 2 ఫాదర్లు ఉన్నారు, 2 మదర్లు. నా చైల్డ్హుడ్ మొత్తం నాకు తాతయ్య లేడు. తప్పుగా అర్థం చేసుకోకండి, కానీ నిజంగా చైల్డ్హుడ్లో తాతయ్య లేడు. నాకు 2 ఫాదర్లు, 2 మదర్లు. అందులో ఒక మదర్ మా అమ్మ, ఒక మదర్ మా అమ్మమ్మ, ఒక ఫాదర్ మా అప్ప, ఇంకో ఫాదర్ మా తాతయ్య. మమ్మల్ని ఎప్పుడు ఒక గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ లాగా మమ్మల్ని ట్రీటే చేయలేదు. ఫాదర్ తిట్లు పడ్డాయి, దెబ్బలు పడ్డాయి, బెదిరింపులు అయ్యాయి. తాతను చూసి భయపడిపోయి పారిపోయేవాళ్ళం. అసలు తాతయ్య అమ్మమ్మ అంటే అందరు చుట్టూ తిరిగి ప్యాంపర్ చేయించుకుంటారు. మాతో అలా కాదు. అది ఉత్తి మాకే స్పెషల్. నేను మా తమ్ముడు, మా ఇద్దరికే ఆ అదృష్టం, ఇంకెవరికి లేదు. I have a bad habit of only thinking and not writing. I said, because today we are here for you and you are known for writing, let me write my questions. And surprisingly, నాకు తెలియకుండానే చాలా మంచి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇచ్చారు నాకు అనిపించింది. సో మై ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, what is your version of the time with us? Because we have our own version, our own experience with you. మా ఆలోచనలు వేరు, మేము మిమ్మల్ని ఎలా చూసామో వేరు, మా టైం మీతో ఎట్లా గడిచింది వేరు. బట్ ఇన్నేళ్లలో ఎన్నో మాట్లాడుకున్నాం మనం. వితౌట్ దట్ ఏజ్ గ్యాప్ చాలా విషయాలు మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఎప్పుడు అడగలేదు కానీ వాట్ వాజ్ యువర్ ఫీలింగ్? మేము స్కూల్ నుంచి డైరెక్ట్గా ఇక్కడే వచ్చి టిపికలీ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఇక్కడే ఉండేవాళ్ళం రోజంతా. వాట్ వాజ్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ విత్ అస్? వాట్ వాజ్ యువర్ ఫీలింగ్స్ అండ్ how did that whole period feel for you regarding only me and you?
For me, this is not a simple question from a granddaughter. It is a generalizable question about family relations and general human relations. Relationships because of blood is one thing. Relationships because of economic relations is another thing. Relations because of academic orientation is another. When grandchildren are with you, there is always a possibility of going a little above the relationship you have with children. With children, you develop all kinds of questions. What will they do? What will they do? When it comes to grandchildren, that part their parents will take care of. The extra is most probably the point she raised. There is greater amount of attachment, greater amount of guidance orientation. How to guide people. And she rightly said her brother is another great fan of mine. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing. Actually, you should be a very lucky man to have grandchildren. Choddoji, great grandchildren. She has 2 sons. I really love them. And her husband is a wonderful man. Very brainy fellow. Very brainy. So to have, this is the thing. When a student meets you, nowadays, that's why I asked her age. Nowadays, when I meet young girls, I remember my grandchildren. If you are 30, 31, you are only grandchild. If you further up, for example, my last daughter is 52. How can I look at her as daughter in between daughter and granddaughter? So the interesting thing is, human relations, again, are great teachers. When I look at children, students, I also look at as if daughters, sons, nephews and all that. It's a very peculiar thing. So that is how I look at both objectivity, subjectivity, both will operate.
ప్రకాశం గారు ఎన్నో దశాబ్దాలుగా దేశ విదేశాల్లో పనిచేశారు కాబట్టి ఎందరో స్నేహితులు అభిమానులు ఉన్నారు. ఆయన గురించి వారు ఏమంటున్నారో చూద్దాం. అమృత్సర్లో ఉన్న ప్రొఫెసర్ సుఖదేవ్ సింగ్ గారు ఏమంటున్నారో చూద్దాం.
I have known Professor Prakasam for the last 45 years. I met Professor Prakasam first time in the year 1981 in the MPhil classroom of Anthropological Linguistics at Punjabi University, Patiala. I wrote my MPhil dissertation and the PhD thesis under his guidance. I remember how he made very complex concepts of linguistics simple for me to understand. I not only learnt knowledge of linguistics from him, but I also learnt knowledge of life. So he has been throughout an academic teacher and a practical guru in my life. During the years, I grew from a disciple to a disciple friend. Professor Prakasam always encouraged his students to grow independently. He encouraged them to engage in discussion and spin new ideas. He organized the academic events where the students could participate and learn. He spent almost a decade in Punjabi University, Patiala, and then he moved to the Lucknow Center of Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, where he organized an international conference with participation of a renowned linguist, Michael Halliday, and Ruqayya Hassan, accompanied by several other international scholars. I also got opportunity to meet these international scholars and learn more things. Professor Prakasam is a unique combination of academic par excellence, practical life, and the pragmatic knowledge. He was popular among his students and also among his colleagues and friends for his pragmatic wisdom and scholarship. He loved his friends, but he could never be taken in on any issue in a very simple manner. I remember having long discussions with him in the university cafeteria, at his residence on the university campus, in his office in the Department of Linguistics, and learn many things. He participated in my marriage ceremonies and knew my family very closely. So he could develop very close contacts with his students and his colleagues. So Professor Prakasam has continued to explore knowledge in other areas too. He studied law at a very late stage in his life. He also learnt homeopathy and practiced it. Professor Prakasam, I remember, grew rice in a very small patch of land near his house at the university campus. He loved nature. He loved his family. He loved his students and helped and loved his friends and colleagues. I wish him healthy and long life. Thank you.
పాట్యాల నుంచి డాక్టర్ జోగా సింగ్ గారు పంపిన ఈ వీడియో చూడండి.
Dr.V.PRAKASAM is a name that evokes reverence, I should say. His very first interaction with me is strongly etched in my memory. The first lecture he delivered in the linguistics class, to the MA linguistics class at Punjabi University, Patiala in 1979, that enabled me to find myself at the right place. When he delivered a lecture, I thought that I have come at the right place. I also raised a question, what role does gene play in language learning? And there he stood, Dr. V.Prakasam, with a broad, appreciative smile and nodding his head. And he had a very long, deep look at me, and I found myself at the right place. It didn't take very long that I became part of his family meetings, where even the youngest Bindu's opinion had the same weight as that of Dr. Prakasam's. That was his family life. He had made seminal contributions to language studies in Punjab in more than one way. He put the formal linguistics in a very strong footing in the department. Before him, this linguistic department was more oriented towards relationship of language with culture, literature, society. That's why the department was named as Anthropological Linguistic Department. But with his arrival, the formal linguistic aspects also became very strong. He made a good contribution to the propagation of Punjabi language. He, along with Dr. Pawar, they established Punjabi Pasha Academy, which has been taking up the case of Punjabi language since then. He was also very deeply interested in Punjab's life. Sometime talking to him and his opinion made one to think that he was more Punjabi than the Punjabi themselves. That was his interest in the Punjab's life. His concerns are very broad. He is not merely linguist. I think his deepest concern is the human condition. And he also discusses all the aspects of life with his students, and that enables the students also have that kind of concern and understanding. As an academic scholar, I think that if I could call that, he is a comprehensive linguist. Generally, scholars are very good in one field or one model or one analysis, but his broad range of understanding becomes an advantage even for his students. He is well acquainted with the different masters, theories, models. Very few people will find in linguistics who are as well acquainted with that broad range of perspectives as him. We are fortunate enough to have been taught by him. Not only he taught us linguistics, he taught us life. And his interaction with us, with me, are strongly etched in my memory, and I cherish those. Thanks, Guru Garu. Namaskaram, Guru Garu. We always remember you.